Good morning. It's another Wednesday, and I have on a special uh, compliment to my computer because I'm having a little trouble with it. I want to read the article instead of have it printed and comment as I go, and that will be our video today. We've been talking so much about grief and going into the holidays and kind of on the negative side and dismal side. But what I'm suggesting at this point in this interview, in this video, is to kind of take a shift and during this holiday season to really enjoy it, to have a wonderful holiday, to take a break in any of the cares and woes that you have. If using our psycho-spiritual model with the Christian, Judeo-Christian paradigm that we're working on in another context, we would say lay your burdens down. So I want you to start reading my article and then I'll make a couple of comments. Contemplation is what is so essential to having a happy Christmas. It is something that I personally have in my life space, and the superior truth is that you need it in yours. You need some kind of contemplation to get in touch with some little center of energy that you have. And if you don't concentrate and get to that center, you're going to be up in the tired and helpless and stressed out zones for Christmas. So go ahead, take the time and contemplate. A good place to start is with Living Water Community Center. And if you go on that website, you will see the address for different meditations that are offered by that community center. Self-examination is another big thing to do this holiday. The self-examination that really seems to matter is the kind that takes into account what effect your communication with others will have. So look at that. Look at see when you say something, what effect is it going to have on other people? And I think that will help you to follow that golden rule: do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It certainly is applicable to that. I'm sure there's so many things in the Old Testament that it really applies to. But physician, heal thyself. It's a very well known little quote. It's about self-examination. And when I say that, I'm not saying self-help groups or self-awareness kinds of experiences, although they're very good. I'm really talking about going on a deeper level of examining your motives, your responses, your belief system, your general ability to roll up your sleeves and get at your purpose, just those kinds of things. And I think if you do that, you will be free of mistakes. And that's certainly something that all of us would like to be free of. Another view is that everything personal related to your ego this Christmas should probably be excluded. And that thing covers a lot of things, but it leaves a lot of things also uncovered that you can use, like things like universal consciousness. If you have a consciousness of the whole world, of what's going on in the world, and I don't mean the news, I mean just what's going on in the hearts of the people, then you can have a way of kind of turning your life over to its own destiny, to its own fate, more or less, and see if that is something that feels like comes from your heart, your soul, your very being, or if it's just laid onto you from the outside, family, parents, school teachers, all the different societal kinds of pressures to be in a good field, to be a lawyer, a doctor, to be in a good lucrative field, respectful. All of those kinds of things are very ego oriented. And we know that the ego needs to be strong. But at the same time, the consciousness cannot be totally encapsulated with this ego without expanding to include other people, connectedness with the world, with nature, with our universe, and with our cosmos. It's very serious if you were to really know the situation, which none of us, I think, on a lay level really know what the situation is with our environment. But it is certainly something to contemplate on and see if the answers come from within you instead of this barrage of material that we get from the outside, although that can be helpful too. So that relates to everything personal being excluded, everything in your ego being excluded in this other view of letting go of all everyday worries. The philosophy that I would say is one that prepares us to go forward is the philosophy of Jesus, as well as the guidance that Moses got and delivering the people from bondage in Egypt to freedom. And psychologically, this can be an archetype for someone who can take a group of wounded people and lead them or deliver them into a promised area, a promised land, a promised mindset. And as we're looking for the promised mindset, we are going to have to stay open to the fact that we have an overshadow, an overview. We have a higher consciousness than just this little walking around person who gets up at such and such a time, goes to bed at such and such a time, and does this kind of work and has these relationships and friendships. There's much more in our psyche, in our minds, and the way our minds are in revolt of all of the barrage that we get from our society around making it, getting rich, and succeeding, and looking good, and looking like you have a lot of money, and whether you do or not, and just pressures like that, little pressures that some people don't respond to, and some people respond to in a big way. So in this Christmas holiday, if you can follow the humble example that was led by Jesus and should have been more available to Moses, because he did not get to go into the land of tranquility. He seemed to be stagnated at the borderline. But Jesus really set a good archetype, a good example of someone who was strong and faithful all the way to his death. And of course, we're in a season where we're not celebrating his death, although some people might say you never want to celebrate that, but in a way you do, because it is in this paradigm, it is the way that fulfilled God's plan. So next week, I will be here with another topic, and we will carry on about the Christmas holiday. Bye-bye.